10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, big, bang, roll, thumbing. Catch me out here with the moves I've been rolling. That's all I know. Big bang, talking big bang, big bang. I've been moving state to state like I'm out here serving weight. You been sleeping on the job, I've been hustling every day. Me, I motivate the mob and you just standing in the way. I need hundreds, I need tens, I need 40s on the bins. Like my whip without a roof, I like it topless like my chick. Yeah, no gymnastics, I can show you how to flip. Yeah, not a pimp, but I can probably break your dick. Stayed up for 2 or 3 days, thinking how to get it 7 ways. White tee, number 9 J's, coach dollars love to make plays. Say you used to ball back then, but broke now, I guess it was a phase. Bring your shit around and get a slave, cause all I know is go get paid. All I know is money. 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, big, bang, roll, thumbing. Catch me out here with the moves I've been rolling. That's all I know. All I know is money. 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, big, bang, roll, thumbing. Catch me out here with the moves I've been rolling. That's all I know.
I ain't been rapping, I've been trapping shit. And these songs still irrelevant. It's money missions on my day to day. Gotta make it like I spin. Fuck these niggas, get my ends. I need bands, stuffing bags. Buy me houses, pull out back. If they lurking, got the strap. Ain't the type who gon' finesse, but I'm running up a check. Respect it. If I'm flexing, all these blessings. Wake up, looking forward to the commas. I'm still killing, let's be honest. Fuck, I'm good, I met his mama. I ain't wanna, I secured the bag. Got a couple niggas get on my ass, and they put me on the tab. I've been wrong.
All right. What's up, everybody? Just want to do a quick audio test. Want to make sure that everybody that is here can hear me. So let me know in the chat whether or not you can hear my voice loud and clear. Broadcasting to you live from a new angle. Turn myself up a little bit. Okay, I can do that. I can get it cranked up here. Let's see. I also can, hold on, let me, just a second, you're gonna hear just a little bit. Let me mute this mic really quick. All right, let's fix that. See if we can come through a little bit louder and clearer. Does that help? All right, so what up world? This your homeboy Wordplay TJ, and I'm back with another live stream for you. I appreciate anybody that's here. Icarus Gray is in the chat, just moderating, hanging out, being cool, doing all those things, you know. Let us know in the chat where you are listening from. Let us know, or watching from, whether it be your state or your city. And let me know how you're feeling today. We're gonna start off that way, and then I'm going to jump into some comments, some mentions, and things of that nature. By the way, my ebook, 4 Ps to Starting Your Independent Music Career, is available for $1. We've been selling a lot of those recently, and then this month we got quite a bit out to the public, and we want more of those to sell as well. And so I appreciate everybody for watching. Arizona, straight up, thank you for listening from Arizona and watching from Arizona, sorry. And yeah, so get that ebook, 4 Ps to Starting Your Independent Music Career, because they are selling pretty well as my other ebooks on my website, wordplaytj.com. Want to make one quick announcement about things that I'm selling. So like this t-shirt here is from my Overtime album, and many of those t-shirts are on sale now, and we dropped them down to about $10 a pop, and you get a couple free stickers with those. And so you can grab that on my website as well, wordplaytj.com, and just look for products or merch, and it'll take you right to it. And I'll put that link down in the chat. Deuce Nickel Trey. Oh my gosh. My wife's in the chat throwing gang signs with the emojis. Shout out to my lovely wife. All right, so I am ready to do some Q&A. I would like for anybody that has any music business questions to put them down in the chat. Let me know what you think. It could be anything. I'll try to do them in order and moderate as best as I possibly can. Sounded like a preacher about to preach. Sometimes I do. Don't discount that. Anyway, I want to answer these questions, but I'm going to start off on the screen by answering some questions from the comment section. So I'm going to look at those comments and things of that nature, talk about some of those things, and then I will answer questions from the chat. So in the meantime, I would like for you to put your questions in the chat. Let me know what you want to ask, and I will answer some questions that showed up here in the comment section. By the way, this live stream is going to take us about, I would say about 30, 45 minutes or so. It's not going to be too long. So if you got things to do, feel free to do those things in between time. I'm going to stick my head up here so you can see the questions a little bit better. Let's zoom in. There we go. All right. So this question, I believe, comes from Kiki Pin or Kai Kai Pin. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Sorry about that. How do you add more streaming services on the listening tab of your knowledge panel? So this question comes from my video about Google Knowledge Panels in 2019. And at one point in time, I made this thing private, but I made it private only because I thought it was a good idea for people to check out some newer information. And so I unhid this video, and this is the most recent question that came about. So my answer was to send people to your music streaming services and create a Music Brains profile and enter your songs on the metadata. So it's really important. The musicbrains.org part is the most important part to this solution. So you could always go to, let me put this in the chat, musicbrains.org. That's not .org, that is /org. And what MusicBrain does is catalogs all of your music and all of the metadata behind your song. So metadata, an example of that is the artist name, how long the track lasts, the BPMs of the track, who wrote the music, who wrote the lyrics, and so forth and so on. What album is it on? Like all of those pieces of metadata belong in your thing. And Music Brains is sort of like Wikipedia for music. And so it's really easy to go on Music Brains, create an account, start cataloging your songs. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to do it one song at a time. If you have many albums like myself, it's going to take a minute, but it's worth it. And it's worth it because once you do that and then send people to streaming services to listen to your music, those songs will appear on your Google Knowledge Panel more often. And I can show you an example of that. I'm going to go ahead and search for Wordplay TJ. Let's see. So this is my knowledge panel right here. And as you can see, it shows me being live on YouTube, which is great. So anybody that's searching me right now will see that I'm live and can come and watch this stream. But all of these links here are generated. Sorry, my face is in the way. All of these links here are generated because I have submitted all my music to Music Brains, and I drive traffic to links where people can listen to my songs. So I send people mostly to YouTube, Spotify, and Pandora. YouTube Music is in there too because they kind of overlap. This panel is mine, and also includes songs down here, and includes metadata for those songs. So these are kind of my most trafficked songs right now, and Google will index that traffic and say, oh, well, he's getting a lot of traffic on Mumble Song at the top, Obsessed, and Someone Else's Dream. We're going to show that when somebody searches his music. And so that's what the knowledge panel is about. So if you have any more questions or thoughts about Google Knowledge Panels, be sure to put those down in the chat. Watch those videos and make sure to apply everything that's in the video. I can tell from this question that it was written kind of while he was watching the video, or they were watching the video. And if they would have gone through the video step by step, they probably would have gotten that answer pretty easily. All right, so let's keep going. I put all these comments up here. See me getting smart about my YouTube work. All right, so let's see. This one's about Google Knowledge Panels again. So here's the update to that video that I was just talking about, the 2021 version of Google Knowledge Panels. I might do a 2022 version because some things have changed. Google has gotten rid of the ability to sign in and post directly to Google. This question comes from Bazin B's or BS. How many days to verify my account? And this verification is from the video where you can get verified on Amazon Music and also watch your stats by having the Amazon Music for Artists application on your phone. So they have released that, and just in case you don't know, Amazon Music for Artists is available for you to download, put on your Android or your iOS device, and look at your stats from there from Amazon. I said it takes about a week or so, right? So it's like 7 to 10 days for you to get connected to your account and get logged in. It didn't really take me all that long. I'm just kind of being safe here. It took maybe a day or two before everything got verified, and then I was able to connect all the artists that I work with and then send them links so they can connect to their, to their page. Thomas Sugar. Is his last name Sugar? Wonder about that. I should ask. You should do an episode on ISRC codes. I think my response to this, I think he's right. I think I should do a video on ISRC codes, right? And so if you're curious about what an ISRC code is, it is the identifying number that attaches to any song that you create. It attaches to a specific version of that song, and every single ISRC code is unique. So think about it like a barcode for music, but the barcode for music is the UPC. So you can't think about them as the same thing. And you can also think of them, if you ever worked in retail, you can think of them as a SKU number for your music. So a unique identifier for that unique product. So I should do an episode on ISRC code. It would be really quick, probably about a 2 to 3 minute video explaining what ISRC codes are, where they come from, and why you need them. It's really important to include your ISRC codes in a lot of the metadata that you use for updating your catalog and publishing places, and then go from there. I'm not seeing any questions pop up in the chat, so be sure to put your questions in the chat if you have a music business question. I polled the community a few days ago just to see if anybody had any questions, and I didn't see any. Let's see. Published my first song with Spotify. Have no problem but with the with Apple Music, it released on somebody else's artist page. This is pretty common, and I'm going to tell you how to get around that. But I don't have another page, so how do I make my own page, right? So this is a great question, right? So the goal is to reach out to Apple Music support, send them a link to your song, and make sure that when they get the link to your specific song, that you tell them that you don't have an artist profile created, and it's attached to somebody else's profile. Thank you. I see your Sunkissed Soul. I see your question in the chat. I'll answer it in just a second. So yes, you should reach out to Apple Music support with the link to your song, get it moved to your profile, and then you'll be able to claim that profile on Apple Music for Artists. So there's an application now, by the way. There's an iOS app for Apple Music for Artists, and you can get that added to your iPhone or your Android. And you could also look it up at artist.apple.com. And then claim your profile in order for you to switch your song. The way you prevent this from happening in the beginning, and a lot of distributors have started doing this, is when you're starting to put your song up on streaming services through like DistroKid or CD Baby or TuneCore, when you're putting your music up, make sure that if you're new artists, they're creating unique profiles for you, and they don't try to match you with an artist that already exists. If you're an existing artist, make sure that they're showing the profiles when you type in your artist name. Make sure you're showing the profiles that make sure they are showing the profiles that you own. Maybe I can show you an example of this. Let's see if we can get into DistroKid really quick. All right, so I'm going to go to DistroKid and I'm going to go to upload and pretend like I am uploading a new song. So let's see, I'm going to scroll in a little bit. So this new song, it's a single. Has it been previously released? No. It is going to be, let's go for Me. This is a good example because the last person I did it for was Isrc Codes. So, but I want to show you me actually typing my name in. It's a little sluggish recently. Let's see if it can get it. All right, cool. All right, so this is an example on DistroKid, and it could work a similar way for other services. So what it says right here is, artist is already on Spotify, right? So they're asking the question, are you already on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music? And so the answer is yes, I am. And because the answer is yes, it says this release will appear on Spotify alongside your other Wordplay TJ releases. And typically, if there's not a way to connect you to those releases, and you know this is not you, they will put a link down here for you to check whether or not this is your profile, right? So I know for a fact that this is my profile. Nobody spells their name the way I do, and so it's important for you to make sure that these things are connected. And so that's an example of making sure that your profiles are connected and you don't have to worry about your profiles or your songs being mismatched on your Spotify or your Apple Music. This video is for Apple Music specifically, but you can also do it for Spotify because I have a video for Spotify as well. All right, so in the chat, Sunkissed Soul says, I'm a newbie. Which ebook would you suggest I start from my archive? All right, so I always suggest first that people go with 4 P's to starting your independent music career. And if you are new, to starting your independent music career. This ebook is important because it starts to lay the foundation. So the 4 P's are the product, the placement, the publishing, and the promotion to your music work. And that's important because if you don't have those P's in line, then it's easy to get tripped up and go in the wrong direction or make a misstep that you don't want. So you start with the product, right? Making sure you have a good song that can come out, or many songs that can come out. You make sure that they are mixed well, they are mastered well, they are well orchestrated for commercial release, and they're ready to go. And then the placement, right? You want to make sure that you are not only getting your music out to all these music streaming services, but you want to also make sure that you are laying the foundation for your brand, right? So things like a website, or having your Google Knowledge Panel ready to go, or even establishing the things that you need for the Google Knowledge Panel, like a Music Brains account. You want to make sure that all those things are ready. The publishing, obviously, if you're getting into making music professionally, you want to get royalties from what you do. And so those royalties come from publishing companies like ASCAP, BMI, or they're also called PROs, which is Performing Rights Organizations. There's also Sound Exchange. There's also the MLC, which collects mechanical licensing and royalties. And all of those societies come together to create your publishing. And so I have an overview of all of that stuff in this thing. And then the last component, once you have all of those things in place, those other P's in place, you want to promote your work. Because if you don't promote it, I say this time and time again, nobody's going to hear it. Nobody's going to care. And so it's important for you to promote your work and share it. And so 4 P's is the best way to start. As a follow-up to 4 P's, I would recommend that you download the single release checklist, right? So the single release checklist will help whether you're releasing a single or EP. It is not good for albums per se, but it will help you kind of make a skeleton for an EP or a single release, as well as the complete publishing guide for the United States. Right? So if you live in the U.S. and you make music in the U.S., I created this publishing guide to help you along. The 4 P's will help you start with publishing, but this is more of an advanced look at that. And if you want to go to some advanced strategies, I have this free avatar worksheet. And what the avatar worksheet is who are your fans, right? So you want to know their demographics, you want to know their goals, their values, the things that they consume as individuals. And once you know their avatar, this is an old kind of marketing trick. Once you know the avatar of your consumer, then you can target them better by making music that's more catered to what they care about, right? So my avatar is generally dudes that are 25-ish to 35, and those dudes are trying to get into their career or seated in their career, and they're starting to have kids and starting to have families and lives and things of that nature. And so that was the nature of my last album, Overtime. And over time, I started talking about some of the things that I go through as a 30-something-year-old man in this society, and kind of living my life. So those are some of the books that I recommend, but definitely start with the 4 P's. And thank you for your question. While we're waiting on more questions to come up, I'm going to keep scrolling through the comment section and see about some things that I can expound on. Thank you for doing that, by the way. So this comes from Dominic Andrew. Has your video been placed on these platforms? So basically, this person is asking, how long did it take for my song Jam to be placed on Vivo from DistroVid? DistroVid is the new service available for all artists to get their music video to Apple Music, to Vivo, to Tidal, all of those places. So now my song Jam is up there on all of those places, so you can go check it out there. Just search for Wordplay TJ Jam, and you will find them on those applications. So it took about 2 weeks for me to upload and for the video to be officially delivered. So I think the date that it showed up on all of the services was July 27th, so just about 4 days ago. And that was okay. That, like, I was fine with that lead time. Some people may need a little bit more time than that, and so if you think that you're gonna need time, I would say give it at least 4 weeks before you plan to kind of announce your music video before you use this service. And I didn't include that tip in this video, but I think that's very important. And so I'm gonna go here and actually edit this and say it took. I'm gonna make sure that I say that it's edited. Edit took about 2 weeks, but make sure you give yourself 4 weeks of lead time before submitting your video. Could be sooner, could be a little later, but that's basically it. So I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna actually probably see if I can. I want to see if I can pin that comment. No, it doesn't let me pin it, so I'd have to go to the video and pin it. So I'll do that a little bit later. Curious, any other questions in the chat? Be sure to put those in. I'm gonna keep searching through the comments. Let's see. Thanks. Very helpful, very informative. How do artists qualify for STEM? So apply for STEM, and they can tell you, check the link down in the description, right? So I think this is important. So STEM is a platform that helps artists get a loan for basically doing their music, right? So they take your current traffic, your current audience, speculate what you would be able to kind of pay back, and then they advance you some money so you can make the most of your music business, and then you pay it back after a while. But that's an application only type of situation. Icarus Gray, I see your question. I'm going to see if I can find one more, and then I'll come right to it. Already have a Vivo channel. Does it create a new one for you, or can you link your existing one like on YouTube with a URL? So this is a similar problem to what was happening when the other person had their music on Apple Music and it showed up on somebody else's profile. So there's some qualifiers to this. Number one, you always want to try and go and get an official artist channel through YouTube. So after you put out about 3 songs or so, you can go to your distributor and find in their kind of special features or special tab. I think on DistroKid, it is kind of up here in the corner. So let me move me around. Is it in the goodies? Promote yourself. Where is it at? Yeah, it's in the goodies, but I forget where they put it. Special access. There it is. All right, so for DistroKid users, you can get a YouTube official artist channel, right? So make sure you have a channel on YouTube that is for your music. When you upload to DistroKid or other distribution services, what they will do is they will create sort of like a YouTube topic page for you. And that'll include your music, and it's like distributing your music to both YouTube as a whole and YouTube Music, if you agree to that. And what will happen after you do that is you would have basically two separate channels. You would have Wordplay TJ Topic, and then you would have Wordplay TJ. And from my understanding is the best way to merge those two things is to create an official artist channel. So you want to make sure that you create that official artist channel first. And if you have a Vivo channel before then, they will also merge your Vivo channel if it's the right artist name. And so all of those channels will combine like they are for me. And then whatever system you use to upload to those different platforms, they will all show up on one profile. And that's how it works for me. It's a little confusing because all of the videos or all of the songs that I upload don't show up in my content tray, so I can't really control them. And so that's the biggest confusing part. I kind of wish they had a section for content for artists where they could control the links and all of the destinations for the music that is on the topic channel and on Vivo, since Vivo and YouTube are kind of brother sister companies. And so in this situation, you would want to make sure that while you're uploading, it says it has your name available under Vivo. So it's going to be like the same thing that happened on DistroKid, where my name was typed up here. It'll say, oh, we've already found you on Vivo. We already found you on Tidal. Is this your profile? Or make sure this is your profile. So that's how you solve that problem. Is it will try and detect your existing Vivo channel and make sure that it links it to your thing. So Beyond Unbroken, thank you for that question if you ever watched this video. So I'm going to answer this last question from Icarus Gray, and then we're going to kind of close out. It's been about 30 minutes, but it's seeming to kind of not be as active today, and that's okay. And but I think this was very helpful and a very great exercise for putting out songs today. So let's see. Do you have tips for marketing at a beginner level? I'm trying to dig deep before I start into this. One of the biggest things that a lot of beginners miss when creating music is that they forget to kind of establish themselves as a brand. They don't typically think about themselves as a brand, but when you're out here and you're making music, the number one tip that I would say for beginners when it comes to marketing is take yourself seriously. The second tip is to make sure your product is right, so other people take you seriously, and that will build that's a good mixture for a foundation that will help you build a base to your brand. And from there, you want to start doing the things that you need to do to get your work out there. A lot of beginners forget to promote and forget to ask people to go and listen. And that's not because, I don't think that's because all beginners are lazy or have something against doing the hard work. It's that people, or even musicians, tend to be introverted. And because a lot of musicians want to express their music, but not necessarily promote their music, that becomes a barrier, right? So the first biggest barrier is building that foundation for you to put music out and that brand. And then the second barrier would be to actively promote their work. And so to overcome actively promoting your work, I would just say, even though you're apprehensive, it's important to share it anyway. And you have to get in the habit of just sharing it. Whether you're sending a link to your best friend, whether you're sending a link to a stranger, you have to get in the habit of actually kind of working out those butterflies in your stomach that make you nervous to promote your stuff to strangers, because there's a big fear there, and that fear is legitimate, right? There's a fear that somebody will listen to your music, reject it, tell you you suck, tell you you should never do music again, and then what if that happens? And I think that's the monster, or the thing that is always on our shoulder as musicians. Somebody is gonna say that you suck, and that is going to happen as time goes on. But in most cases, people are not like that. People are not that mean and sort of, disrespectful. Like, some people would say that, this is honest, right? If your music is not as good, but people are generally not that mean about their feedback or their support. They'll either kind of stop listening if they don't like it, or they will give you some encouragement. So I think good thing I'm goated already. I don't know about that. I think it's important that you got to get over those butterflies in your stomach. Make sure that you approach people, and make sure that you're ready to approach people, right? So if you're not ready to approach people, you don't know what to do with rejection or feedback. How I get ready is I make sure that I know my brand. If I have a song, I know what this song is about. I know what this song is I know how this song is important, and I can say that within one sentence. And once I'm able to say something about that song in one sentence, then I can approach people and say, hey, this is Honeysuckle Summer. It's about summer times in Arkansas. And as a kid, we used to go and pull those things off the bushes, and it was some of the best times in my life. And I want you to go hear this song because it just reminds me of summers in Arkansas. Like, that sentence or that phrasing can really make a different impact on how people hear the music and relate to it. And if it's good, it'll stick even more. So I appreciate that question, Icarus Gray, and I appreciate everybody for watching here. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you everybody for checking this out. Be sure to grab one of those ebooks. 4 Ps to starting your indie music career is the best one to start with. Be sure to grab some merch from my merch store, wordplaytj.com /merch. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel. Leave some comments down in the comment section. I appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ. Peace.